World News tonight, Governor Fubara thanks God for peaceful burial of mother-in-law. NDPC investigate private websites alleged access to Nigerians' data. Plus, group warns governors against federal government's demand for grazing land, says it will worsen insecurity. Do you love about restating her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this night's edition of the World News. My name is Akilachi Kije. And now to the news in detail. Rivers State Governor Sinalaye Fubara has thanked God with his wife, Valerie, after the peaceful and successful burial of late Mrs. Adeline Ndalu Jaja, mother of the wife of the governor. The Thanksgiving service held at St. Paul's Anglican Church, Opopo Town in Opopo Nkoro local government area of the state. Joining the governor to thank God for the grace of a peaceful burial of the matriarch were government functionaries, families, friends, and other several dignitaries. Vicar of St. Paul's Anglican Church in Opopo Town, Venerable Emmanuel Wuju said Christians are still observing Lent, reflecting on the accomplished work of redemption through Jesus Christ that has offered eternal hope. He said in the days of Jesus, instead of the people to embrace him and walk in righteousness, they ganged up against him, antagonized him, and killed him together with criminals. But in a twist of fate, he was buried in a rich man's tomb and eventually rose in glory. Venerable Wuju said some things continue to happen these days and explained that people who benefit from corruption perpetuated across sectors and by extension destroy the available quality of education to endanger the future of the youths. He, however, declared that those who focus on God will be emboldened to bring solution to the many woes bedeviling the country. Earlier, the state governor urged the public to reflect on the kind of life they lead and make amends if it will not open doors of opportunities for their wards and others closely related to them. Governor Fubara gave the advice at the funeral service in honor of his late mother-in-law, Mrs. Adeline Ndalu Jaja, who died at the age of 87. Tamuno Barabi Iblubo has the rest of the report.
The funeral service held at St. Paul's Anglican Church in Opopo Town of Opopo Nkoro local government area of the state on Saturday. Among those who attended was the governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doyin Duri. Governor Fubara advised parents and leaders to consider the benefits of conducting their lives in a manner that will serve as social currency to open doors for their wards and associates. Governor Fubara said Mama was a good example to them because she led a good life, was simple, promoted justice within the community, and asserted that God has received her already. The governor also declared his confidence in God, who is a foundation on which his administration is anchored. He assured that despite the contending challenges, the state and its administration has triumphed.
Mama has lived her life. Mama's name has opened a lot of doors, not just for our immediate children or biological children, even those people that are close to Mama. When you mention that you know so person, doors were opened. So I want every one of us here to go back and reflect in our lives. We must, it's important, live life that when we are no more, and our children that will be there when we are gone, when they mention our names, not just my own Fubara, but any other name, let that name open doors for them.
In his speech, Governor Diri of Bayelsa State conveyed the condolences of 60 states in the region to Governor Fubara, his family, and Rivers people for the loss they have suffered. Bishop of the Diocese of Niger Delta of the Anglican Communion, Right Reverend Emmanuel Okujaja, preached and said death reminds everyone that we must reconcile with God to secure eternity. Tamun Nobarabi Iblubo, Rstv News.
Rivers State Deputy Governor Professor Ngozi Odu has expressed gratitude to Governor Siminalayi Fubara for being dynamic and focused in governance. Professor Odu stated this at the flag-off of the free ear care and screening outreach organized by the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital in collaboration with the Rivers State's chapter of Otorhinolaryngological Society of Nigeria, (OLSON), at the Ear, Nose and Throat Surgery Clinic in Port Harcourt to commemorate the 2024 World Hearing Day on Friday, 15 March. Nnamdi Olimini takes it from here.
Professor Odu rightly acknowledged that the World Hearing Day has not been celebrated in this dimension before, where 100 patients are given all-expense treatment from consultation to screening. The Deputy Governor expressed the need to appreciate the Governor in order to encourage him to render more services that impact on the people, because what you do directly to people lingers on for the rest of their lives.
I want to thank the Governor of Rivers State, my boss, His Excellency Sir Siminalayi Fubara, TSS ROS, for his dynamism and focus. We have over 100 patients who are here to have free ear screening. Ordinarily, they would have paid quite some money for consultation, for their cards, and for everything. But that is being saved. And that's the kind of man we have as a governor. He does things that impact on people. And when they leave, they'll remember that he touched their lives in many more ways than one.
On her part, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Adeze Ore, while eulogizing the contributions of late Dr. Chimdi Afoloka Odu, a foremost ENT surgeon, said the theme for this year's World Hearing Day, changing mindset, let's make hearing care a reality for all, perfectly keys into Governor Fubara's vision of sound health for all in Rivers State, while commending the State University Teaching Hospital, the state chapter of OLSON, and the Chimdi Odu Foundations for making the groundwork for the fulfillment of the policy by Governor Fubara during the opening of the facility as an annex to the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital. In his remarks, the acting chief medical director of the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital, Professor Chizindo Aleko, said Governor Fubara, on assumption of office, ensured the completion, further equipping, and opening of the ultra-modern facility where the dental, maxillofacial, ophthalmology, and ENT services are rendered to Rivers people, noting that since the opening of the facility, the patronage by patients has increased by 400%. Also, the state coordinator of OLSON, Dr. Ure Oparado, said hearing loss is a major public health issue, globally impacting over 1.5 billion people, according to the World Health Organization, and noted that in Nigeria alone, a large number of people suffer from preventive hearing loss due to lack of health education and proper ear care services. Nnamdi Olimini, Rstv News.
As part of measures to ensure effective implementation and utilization of the Petroleum Industry Act 3% Communities Development Trust Fund, the Host Communities Project Management and Advisory Consult Limited has engaged with Host Communities Development Board of Trustees and settlers in Rivers State. Justice Ihunwo has all the details.
The Host Communities Development Trust Fund is established in the PIA for the development of communities situated or close to the area of operation of settlers or oil licensees, and any other community as a settler might determine. The settler is required to incorporate a Host Community Development Trust in the community where they carry out petroleum operations, and appoint a board of trustees as well as members of each committee in the said trust, failure of which a settler's license or lease can be revoked. The settler is also required to undertake a need assessment which shall metamorphose into a community development plan and determine projects to be undertaken by the trust. Trust fund is established by the constitution of each host community development trust, and the settlers are required to make an annual contribution to the applicable community, 3% of its actual operating expenditure of the preceding year in the upstream petroleum operation affecting the community. The Act also protects petroleum operations and activities in host communities, providing that where there is any vandalism, sabotage, or civil unrest which causes damage to any petroleum or designated facilities or disrupt petroleum activities in host communities, such community will forfeit its settlement to the extent of the cost to repair the damage or the damage that may have occurred as a result of such disruption. It is in line with these provisions that the meeting was organized in conjunction with Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission to sensitize stakeholders on how the PIA will bring about development to the host communities. The President, Host Communities, Dr. Benjamin Tamara Ebi, speaks further on the essence of the engagement.
The reason of organizing this program is for inclusive participation of host communities. 2, judicious use of the PIA 3% fund that are accruing to our communities. 3, the non-implementation of the 3% that have delayed for over 2.5 years. 4, communities are crying that funds are now in their accounts, but they cannot touch those funds for the past 6 months. Now, these are the facts. We have these engagements to know from the oil companies what is the problem, to know from the communities why it have delayed up to now.
The representative of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Mr. Success Ipe, also speaks on what the Commission is doing to ensure effective implementation of the provisions of the PIA.
We talked about the number of the HCDTs that have been incorporated. We talked about those that have been approved by the CAC, the number of accounts that have been created, and of course those that have also been funded.
Several presentations were made at the event, including challenges of implementing the Host Communities Development Trust Fund. Some of the participants spoke on the benefits of the engagement and other measures that will increase the level of engagement.
There's a move to put energy in the PIA. The news story is that we have been sensed up to face the PIA, how it should be faced.
We are looking forward to getting better results because there are certain things that they also have not addressed. The settlers who should have even been here, there is no single settler here, which has almost defeated the engagement process.
Justice Ihuo, Rstv News.
Newly admitted students of the Ignatius Ajuru University of Education for the 2023-2024 academic session have received a charge to be studious and obey the rules and regulations of the institution. Acting Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Okechukwu Onuchukwu, gave the charge at the 15th matriculation ceremony at the main campus at Rumolumini, Port Harcourt. Nagotba Anele reports, who covered the ceremony, reports that 7,330 students were distributed to various faculties.
Declaring the event open, Professor Onuchukwu explained the importance of education to individuals and society while urging students to be hardworking and become good ambassadors of the institution to enable them put smiles on the faces of their parents. The university don, however, advised them to toe the path of academic greatness and contribute meaningfully for the progress of the country, adding that association is right, but should be the one that will guide them come out in flying colors such as group studies. Professor Onuchukwu charged the students to take their studies seriously, be creative and innovative to achieve success in life, and shun examination malpractice, courtesy, indecent dressing, and other related offenses or face penalty. The acting vice-chancellor revealed that students who could not meet up with the institution's academic grade will be wafted out of the school, while advising parents and guardians to promptly pay the fees of their children and worse, monitor their academic performances, and assist the institution achieve its desired objectives.
Total number of matriculants today is 7,338, and we have a total of 54 programs in this university, out of which 47 are fully accredited, and then the other remaining 7 have been resource verified. So one of the first charge I give to them is to take their studies seriously and ensure that they don't join secret cult. And I also told them that they need to obey the university rule. We have handed over to them the university academic statement and rules and regulation of the university. After the first year, your result will be computed. If you don't have a minimum of 1.5, you'll be placed under probation. And that probation, you can even change departments within the faculties you are to see where you'll be comfortable. But after the second year, if you're still below the CGPA of 1.5, you are asked to withdraw from the program.
The institution has faculties of agriculture, education, humanities, management sciences, social sciences, natural and applied sciences, as well as vocational and technical education. Students and others interviewed expressed joy.
I assure my parents that I will be a great child, I will pass my examination, get a good grade in this school.
I feel happy, I feel blessed, and I'm praying God should keep me wealthy and keep me strong.
I'll be a good example to other students. So me, coming from my background, I'm a decent child, so I'll be a very good child.
The VC has spoken well. As a parent, you have to pay your child's school fee.
Of the Institute for Distance Learning. Well, our mode of learning is different because it is basically online. To make it easy for everybody to be part of it, in the university portal, our link is there. We have an office as you come into the main gate. The Institute for Distance Learning is to the left by the security gate.
God's Power Anele, Rstv News.
Do you love and care about River State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. Now time for a short break on the world news, but still to come. Violent volcanic flare-up triggers state of emergency in southern Iceland. Details of these and more stories when we return. To stay.
Where's Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Glow! Oh, where Glow now?
I dare here.
Glow, don't go village. Tell all our customer abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow berekete 10x. Now him might they take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give all of us, so you they enjoy up to
15,000 naira credit and data. And I say I never finish you. See, when I say if you enjoy, if you not join Glow berekete 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credit. Finish.
Glow, you don't win. Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Please save now Glow with they fine. Now Glow with they go. Okay, so
enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow berekete 10x. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
Welcome back from that short break. It's still the Rstv World News, and now on to the rest of our reports. Being kind to humans, irrespective of ethnic, racial, or religious consideration, can propel one's life's aspirations. In this special report, God's Power Anele underscores the importance of genuine kindness to individual lives and the society. His report.
It is a scriptural command that Christians should always observe and emulate the virtues of Jesus Christ by displaying sense of meekness, generosity, and hospitality to mankind, no matter whom it may concern. Some people assist others to cope with life challenges, but attach conditions or demand for a return in disregard to the biblical instruction, which says, freely you receive, freely you give, in order to gain all-round favor, protection, and blessings from God. On the other hand, some people place curses on items they provide for the needy in difficult times, exposing them to various attacks. The biblical widow of Zarephath, who gave her last meal to Elijah, benefited immensely from God, even the resuscitation of her only son from death, as recorded in 1 Kings 17 verses 10 to 24. I visited some churches in Port Harcourt metropolis and its environs to get first-hand contributions on kindness from the faithful.
And her gift spoke volume for her. What was missing in her life, even without her own demanding, it dawned on the man of God that this woman who has done this also deserved to be rewarded by heaven. And indeed, the man of God stepped in, and God used his servant to be a blessing to that woman. And the generation to come, that woman and her name was never missing in the scripture.
Other respondents shared their views as thus.
Talking about the act of kindness, giving without anything attached. And it doesn't call for you because you have shown kindness to somebody else. Now you would expect that person to return that favor to you.
We'll talk about kindness, we'll talk about you giving with all your heart, not you giving, tomorrow you want to use it against that person that you render that help to. You will render and you will not look for reward.
One way you show kindness, you must, there's something that says that I can't give you anything until you ask me. But if you are a child of God and with your careful observation, you will look around. There are persons that God will lay in your heart to be a blessing to. If you obey that leading, that person may not have what it takes to reward you. But the Bible says, he that giveth to the poor, lend unto the Almighty. So as Christians, we must learn this season to practice what we believe.
It is expected of Christian faithful to imbibe the lifestyle of Jesus Christ and radiate it to others, not minding their ethnic, race, and religious inclinations as exemplified by the biblical widow of Zarephath, who had faith and got positive results. Be a genuine Christian. Show unconditional kindness to others and receive uncommon rewards from God. God's Power Anele, Rstv News.
Now on to federal stories. Nigeria Data Protection Commission (NDPC) and National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) are set to investigate the alleged access to the data of registered Nigerians. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy Bosom Tijani stated this via his X handle amid the report of a private website having a free course to the data of Nigerians. The private website, expressverify.com, in a newly published report, was accused of having unrestricted access to the national identification numbers, NINs, and personal details of every registered Nigerian. According to the reports, the website has since monetized the recovery of NINs and personal information on the Nigerian Identification Database, such that anybody can retrieve details such as phone numbers, full names, NIN, address, and photographs of any Nigerian whose data is on the National Identity Database with as low as 200 naira. In response to the report, the Communications Minister clarified that the National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) has ceased to be under the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy. He, however, vowed that the primary legal institution responsible for the identity management system and regulations of the identity sector will work closely with the nation's data protection agency to probe the matter. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested a 20-year-old hairstylist, Josephine Odunu, and a 30-year-old dispatch rider, Edesemi Ikboro, for selling and distributing illicit drug-laced chin-chin to school students and at social parties in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. Spokesman for the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, revealed this in a statement today, detailing the weekly arrest of suspects and drugs seized by the Anti-Narcotics Agency. He explained that NDLEA officers on patrol intercepted the motorcycle dispatch rider Edesemi and recovered 200 grams of chin-chin produced with cannabis sativa, which he was on a mission to deliver to a buyer. According to him, a swift follow-up operation led to the arrest of the hairdresser Josephine, who distributes the drugged chin-chin from the saloon where she works in Kansia area of Yenagoa. Further search of the saloon, he said, also led to the recovery of 3 kilograms, bringing the total weight of the illicit substance seized from the duo to 3.2 kilograms. And in Delta States, many residents of Okwama in the Ughelli South local government area and Okoloba in the Bomadi local government area have fled the communities as soldiers took over the area and reportedly set some houses ablaze in reaction to the killing of 16 soldiers, including senior officers. This comes following 15 bodies of the soldiers recovered by soldiers of the Joint Task Force under the supervision of the General Officer Commanding 6th Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Jamal Abdusalam, at the Okwama community. Some of the recovered corpses had their heads severed off, while the stomachs of others were ripped off, with some of the vital organs missing, including the bodies of the commanding officer and 2 majors seen floating by the riverbank at the NDDC jetty in the community, while others were separated on land. The incident was a fallout between some youths of Okwama community and the military in a gun duel following the long-term communal dispute between the Okwama and Okolaba communities, which the JTF moved to rescue Okwama hostages who opened fire on them. And now, a group, Middle Belt Patriots, had urged state governors not to succumb to pressure from the federal government to cede lands to herders for grazing. The group said yielding to such demands would worsen the security situation in the Middle Belt region and other parts of the country. In a statement by its Director of Media and Strategic Communications, Stephen Kefas, the group wondered how the federal government constantly panders to the interests of the pastoralists at the detriment and displacement of the indigenous populations whose lands and lives are being overrun by the armed ethnic militias affiliated with the herders. Recall that President Bola Tinubu had, while speaking at the flag-off of the Agricultural Mechanization Revolution for Food Security in Minna, Niger State capital, Monday, called on governors to give parts of their land in their states to Fulani herders for ruga or ranching purposes. And now on the foreign scene, we have this report that a state of emergency has been declared in southern Iceland after another volcanic eruption on the Reykjavik. Local media said. The powerful and fast-moving lava began late on Saturday, but authorities say they have since diminished significantly as activity around the fissure has dissipated. Iceland's Meteorological Office said the streams of lava were still flowing on Sunday, but the rate at which they were moving had begun to slow down. The director of Iceland Civil Defense, Vides, said all that could be done to prepare for the flow has been done, and the biggest concern was the impact on infrastructure, adding that the pools of lava gathering near defenses were also of concern. Do you love and care about River State and her peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must all accomplish. And now to end the world news, a recap of some of our major stories. River State Governor Sinalaye Fubara has thanked God with his wife Valerie after the peaceful and successful burial of late Mrs. Adeline Indalu Jaja, mother of the wife of the governor. Nigeria Data Protection Commission (NDPC) and the National Identity Management Commission (NIMC) are set to investigate the alleged access to data of registered Nigerians. We had also reported that a group, Middle Belt Patriots, has urged state governors not to succumb to pressure from the federal government to cede land to herders for grazing. And that's all we have for you on the World News tonight. Thank you for joining us. I am Akilachi Kije. Good night.